So, guys, for one, look at the young Padawan sunbathing. The irony a lot of times is that white dogs often want to sunbathe quite a bit. You have to be careful, especially with the Merle, because it can increase risk of cancer. Why? Because in the white areas of certain parts of their body, it dilutes the genes, and the gene specifically dilutes pigmentation. What is pigmentation? Made up of the skin. So when his balls is back, but he's always going to want some sun. Isn't that crazy? He always, so far I've watched him a couple times, and he's always at the top of the stairs, getting some sun. You have to be cautious. I know a lot of white dogs that have skin allergies, and even worse. Not saying he's going to have them. They've died or had some type of skin cancer. Today we're going to talk a little bit about pork. This right here is a picnic roast premium pork. Now, it is believed that pork. Oh, look at that! Look at that! What is that? What is that? What is that? Just glide, guys. You just never know. We're always out here. So, freezing meat to control meat bone parasites. One of the things that is concerned with Americans is the fact that there were some roundworm cases from humans that ate pork, and it got to dogs too a little bit. We naturally deworm every 6 months or so, but I'm just going to read real quick. Freezing kills some parasites common in most are meat chain. Here's the thing. Let me make sure I get to the part that matters. However, pork is as clean as other meats, always has been, at least in Europe. In the United States, they had an outbreak of basically spiralysis, a roundworm that can cause all sorts of trouble in human. If a human ingested it, and your dog too, albeit examples are hard to find here. I can't find one example in domestic dogs in their roundworm fact sheet, CDC 2012, the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention report that this disease is now almost fully under control, with 20 cases per year reportedly in Americans, and they eat a lot of pork. It's almost entirely absent in the European meat. So in Europe, they don't even have this problem. In American, less than 20 cases a year in America, and realistically, you just kind of literally deworm your dogs. But pork is not the meat that gives your dog worms. It is fish, especially raw fish when they're not properly frozen. So if you have salmon and various other meats, freeze. And be careful. We'll talk about fish in another section. Guys, you want to get on a Pet Achievers Club, because I'll be breaking this stuff down in detail as we continue to build out our pet achievers, the people who want to be better. So another concern with pork is the occurrence of toxoplasmosis. Although this is again largely American and Asian pork, significantly less than European pork, it accounts for nearly a quarter of all U.S. deaths from food-borne pathogens, sending 4,000 plus to the hospital in 2017 and killing 327. A simple single-celled organism, and it is an extremely successful parasite. And it's known to thrive in warm-blooded animals. Unfortunately, humans are a common secondary host, holding the parasite for a short transitional period. Incredibly 30 to 50% of the world's human population, largely in poor regions. So poor folks that eat pork could potentially struggle if they don't cook it all the way. That's for one thing. And what does it say? Viable tissue cysts in undercooked meat, poorly cured meat, contaminated water. See what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff, and this goes into detail. Boy, I tell you, that's exhausting. So, whenever you're feeding your dog, you say, why would you do these things? Well, objectively, for the most part, the dogs are safe. You want to get your meat cured. If you don't know how to cure meat, I would encourage you to learn how to do that. I would then also tell you to be mindful that when they do that, you give them hair, and then you stick your tongue in there and you press down. Yeah, you don't like that, do you? Quit biting me. We're not gonna have that, people. She's nipping harder and harder and harder. And mind you, those teeth right now are like razors. But you see, she walked on off. She's like, I won't be bothered with you right now. Do not forget, even with your puppies, it is still a dog. And a dog must be treated like an animal, because as it gets more confident, becomes more bold, becomes more sure, it's not going to become more reactive, but it's going to do some testing. And these type of dogs who are super confident will test you sooner than later. And I like the test. I don't fail too much, really at all. So, at anywho, we're going to feed the dogs some pot roast today, and we're going to let them get to it. Uh-oh, you ready for it, huh? You ready for the pot roast? You ready for the pot roast, mama? You ready for that pot roast? Eat some good pot roast. And again, just make sure the meat's clean, make sure your water's clean. Get your little filter your dog's water, and keep that immune system strong by adding vitamins and other things that boost what? Immunity. Stay tuned, take care of your dogs. Be mindful of pork, don't be careful with pork. The most dangerous meat consistently, beyond a reasonable doubt, is what? Fish. If it's not been frozen for 2 to 3 days, if not 2 weeks at -2 degrees.